What is up, everybody? It's Dadbot here. Welcome back to my Dark Souls Remastered 100% walkthrough. So, first things first, I'm going to put my normal equipment back on, which means I'm going to take off Havel's armor, put the Silver Knight armor back on, and the Elite Knight leggings. We're back in our normal armor set. Havel's armor is stronger, of course, but it just looks pretty terrible. So we're going with this. Do not talk to Framped. Again, this is your reminder. What we're doing now is we are going to the Catacombs. And so we're going from fighting what is possibly the hardest boss in Dark Souls, at least in the base game, to what is the easiest boss in Dark Souls. So it just so happens to work out that way. These skeletons that were once a major threat to us now die in one hit. So congratulations to us. We're becoming stronger than we were yesterday. And I think we'll probably maybe even be able to kill these larger ones in one hit too. We'll see. All right, let's have a go. There we go. Yep, you can kill the big boys in one hit. So over here, this is the item that we skipped when we made the run through here earlier. These are the binoculars. Let's go ahead and pick them up if you want them. I will say the Catacombs will be slightly easier if you have a divine weapon. If you go to Andre and take a +5 weapon and turn it into ascend it, I should say, into a divine weapon. Because there are skeletons here that resurrect, and they will not resurrect if you have a divine weapon. And I'll demonstrate what I mean, because I don't have a divine weapon. I'll show you what I mean by the resurrect. Now, they only resurrect if the necromancer, which they're attached to, is still alive. And the necromancers are not nearly as intimidating as they sound. They die very easily. And another beautiful thing about the necromancers is they do not respawn. So once you kill the necromancer, the skeletons attached to it become vulnerable. So you see how this one just respawned after I killed it? That's because the necromancer is still alive. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to run down and kill the necromancer. And then you'll see that the skeletons that are attached to the necromancer will now die. Now, I think there are 4 necromancers in the Catacombs. And we're going to kill all of them. So what you want to do is run through this hole in the wall. Just run past all these skeletons. You will not be able to kill them permanently unless you have a divine weapon. And here is the first necromancer. So give him a couple shots here. He's dead. Now these skeletons are still alive until you kill them. But what happens now, since we've killed this necromancer, these skeletons are not going to resurrect like they were before. So now that we've killed the necromancer, once they're dead, they're dead. So what we need to do now is push this switch. So that's the first necromancer. The necromancers do have a chance at dropping the skull lantern. We're going to light this bonfire. So if we respawn, we're going to respawn here instead of at Firelink Shrine. That is going to actually respawn the enemies that we just killed, but that's not a big problem because they die easily in one hit because we're super powerful now. So not really a concern at this point. These enemies, I mean, they're individually very weak, but of course, like I say, anything in numbers can be dangerous, but really we overwhelm them so considerably that, yeah, it's not a huge deal. So that switch that we just hit unlocked this path. This path was not open forward. And if you see, straight ahead is our next necromancer. So I'm actually going to throw on the bow. And we're going to hit, no, not the crossbow. We're gonna hit him from afar. All right, throw this on. You see, he's trying to hit us with his lantern, but his shot is blocked. Oh, I need to put arrows on too. There we go. Oops, I don't know what happened there. I missed him. And I missed him again. There we go. Yeah, you hit her. If you hit their head, you get a temporary stagger and a critical hit. And so once this necromancer's gone, there's a bunch of skeletons we're going to be running into. They're now vulnerable because the necromancer's dead. So that's 2 of them, and there's 4 of them, I believe. And I keep whiffing. There we go. 3rd time's a charm. Get these guys. Whoop. And these skeletons, their weapons do cause bleed buildup. So just be careful not to let that meter fill all the way up. There's an archer up there. So since we killed the necromancer, the one that we just sniped, all of these skeletons are vulnerable. We'll get that item in just a sec. So here we got the lacrine, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to heal up. Then there is a soul item. We saw it kind of up on that ledge that we couldn't get to from before. Turn to the left. And that archer who was shooting at us before is going to be up here as well. The archer is straight ahead of us. And that soul item right here. That drops us down to where we just were before. And this is the path forward. So what we want to do is run past these guys. Once you get close enough to them, they'll just explode. And these little statues, you see them here? When you run by them, they shoot out spikes. So what you want to do is to get around them, you either want to run far enough. Oh, these ones are resurrecting. You want to run far enough around them where the spikes won't hit you, or you can put your shield up and block the damage. So all the way at the end of here. Got an item. And that's Patches. We're going to talk to him in just a little bit, actually. You can't get to him from here. So what we want to do is push this switch in, and then that bridge that had spikes on it will now be flipped over so we can walk across it. Okay, so you can kill these or ignore them. I can't remember if these ones are vulnerable based on the necromancers that we killed. Yeah, if the general rule is if they give you souls, then they're vulnerable. If they die and they don't give you souls, then they're invulnerable. So what's going to happen is, and they're invulnerable because of the necromancer, I should say. So what's going to happen here is the floor is going to fall out, and you're going to take some fall damage. But notice the crystal lizards right next to us. And of course, these skeletons wanted to crash the party. So those gave us souls, which means that they are not going to resurrect. So these crystal lizards, you see there's these statues that have the spikes. These crystal lizards will run away very quickly. So I am most likely going to have to quit and reload my game. So one of them one of them was still there, but the other one is going to respawn right here. And he disappears almost immediately once your game loads in. So you have to position yourself like almost perfectly to where you'll hit him right when the game loads. And if you don't hit him immediately, he is going to despawn. See? So I just happened to get him. I got a white chunk and a twinkling Titanite. So all that's down here are those two lizards, and the only way to get down here is to drop through the floor like we just did. So what you want to do is climb up this ladder. Then there's another drop point over here. And this is where we just were. You remember where we hit that switch to flip the bridge over? It just takes us right back over there. I think I said that before there are four necromancers. There are 5 because we're about to kill our 3rd one, and then there's 2 more. I forgot about this one actually. So this is a spiral staircase. Don't fall down the middle. But what you want to do is kind of go down semi-far, close to the end of it. And on the right, there's going to be a little nook where the necromancer is. So take him out so that these skeletons will be vulnerable again. And we got another switch to hit here too. All right, so we took out the 3rd necromancer of 5. And then, so these skeletons we can kill now. So we want to head back up the way that we came. All right, and we're going to go down here in just a bit. And in here, these statues will have spikes, so just be careful when you walk by them. These guys do the Darth Sidious jump spin sword attack thing. I think it's hilarious. All right, so yeah, these two will shoot spikes. So just kind of roll. Get the soul of Proud Knight. Roll. Might be one more item up here. I'm just gonna check. Yep, here we go. Oh, of course, it's right next to a spike statue. I totally forgot that. Soul of a Proud Knight. And then, yeah, here we are back kind of towards the top. That's where we came in. That was the bridge we crossed over. Okay, so now we're going to go back to that spot I said that we're going to revisit in just a second. And this skeleton dropped a scimitar. So do not run off the edge here. Very easy to do that, but what you want to do is turn to the side, drop off to this platform, drop off to this platform. And if you remember, this is where the necromancer we killed was. And if we remember looking up, you could see an item. Well, this is the item. It's the Great Scythe. Actually, a very good weapon. I've seen people use it. I haven't really used it much myself, but very good weapon. And then there actually, if you go here, there's a spot that you can fall down. But really what it does is it takes you to a spot that we're going to get to anyways later. So do not go there and fall down. We're actually going to turn back. And first we're going to hit up a bonfire. If you fall down, I will try to remember when we get there to show you the spot that you fall down to. So what you want to do is turn here. This is where we drop to get the Great Scythe. What we want to do instead now is turn left. Go this way. You see this bridge? Well, now it is, but we'll see something in just a second here. Wait, before you go across that bridge, what you want to do is roll through here, get through the illusory wall. There's a hidden bonfire back here. I'm gonna kindle this one. Because now, since we have the Lord Vessel, this is the bonfire in the catacombs that we can actually warp to. So good to kindle it. All right, what we're going to do... Whoops, I always forget about that statue. Okay, what we're going to do is climb the ladder, and we're going to talk to our good friend, Patches. I think this is our first encounter with him. So he asks us if we're a cleric or something. If you want to follow his quest line, say no. So I would advise you say no here. Don't. If you say yes, you're going to mess up his quest. And I think the voices are really low. I'm going to turn the voices up. I'm just going to put them to 10. So he says we can go across the bridge, right? You saw when he's the one who pushed the switch to flip it over. You know, I don't know how well calibrated your BS detector is, but Patches is, do you think he's trustworthy? No, he is not. Absolutely 100 million% not trustworthy. So if you just walk on kind of the edge there, he tries to flip it and knock you over to your death. And so, now that we've sniffed out his little scheme, we can go back and talk to him again.
Oh, well, how are you then? I slipped and flipped that lever, you see. It didn't cause you any trouble by chance.
Yep. Surprised are you that we're still here? So, you know, you'd want to say no to him, but, or you want, actually, he asked if it caused us trouble. And so I had it backwards in my mind. My bad. So yes, it absolutely caused us trouble. So say yes.
Are you certain? Well, that's a fine shame. I'm truly... But wait now. You didn't actually fall. Well, why didn't you tell me sooner? Everybody makes mistakes. I'm trusty Patches. The one I know. This should make up for it.
So as far as this quest is concerned, in that second encounter, it doesn't matter if you tell him yes or no, but if you tell him yes, he gives you the humanity, but his quest line will play out just the same.
Undead outcast.
Now, that first time you talk to him, answering the yes or no actually impacts his quest line. And again, that first time you want to answer no, the second time you want to answer yes. Because if you answer no the second time, he doesn't give you the humanity, I don't believe. So what we want to do is we want to push the lever ourselves. And once we have talked to him, he's, you know, given us his humanity, given us his fake apology. He will not try to trap us again. So now we can go across the bridge without fear. And I mentioned I'd tell you where you would land if you fell through the floor. Where you'd land is right down there. See how there's a path like below this bridge? If you fell through the floor, you'd wind up in that vicinity. Or maybe it's yeah, it's in that area somewhere. Hey. Okay, so this is a spot where you're just gonna want to run for your life because these skeletons are all invincible. So you want to bust through that wall, just drop down, and just stay on the move. Do not attack any of these skeletons. Just stay on the move. So run straight, and we're going to pick up the Darkmoon Seance Ring. Now this ring, if you remember the bonfire in Orlando, I mentioned there's a secret there. This is what unlocks the secret. So turn left, go through this door, go straight up this pathway, straight up this pathway. Here is our necromancer. Oh gosh, really? Looks like he dropped something. He actually dropped a skull lantern. So you may not get this drop. In fact, you probably will not get this drop. It's a 2% drop, I believe, to get the skull lantern. However, since the necromancers don't respawn, after you kill the 5th one, if you haven't gotten a skull lantern already as a random drop from the other 4, you're guaranteed to get the skull lantern on the 5th one that you kill. So if you don't get a skull lantern there, don't worry about it. You should get a skull lantern after you kill the 5th one. So what you want to do now is we're going to climb up this ladder. And by the way, just to tie things together, this is the area. So up there, you see that little doorway at the top. That was the fog gate that we just ran through. You're going to climb the ladder here. This is a spike. And this is a miracle tranquil walk of peace. And this drops us right back at the beginning. This is where we started. Or close to where we started. This is where that, remember the necromancer that we killed with the bow? That's where this the necromancer with the bow is. We have already killed. Since we rested at the bonfire, these enemies have respawned. We don't need to kill all these guys again. I'm turned around. Here we go. Back across the bridge. And this is where there was that circular staircase. We killed a necromancer towards the bottom of it. Now we're actually going to go all the way to the bottom. And since this is an area that we're actually trying to explore, it's probably for the best that we kill the skeletons so they don't sneak up behind us and cause us trouble. Go. All right, so here's the bottom of the staircase. And I would suggest healing up to max health because you're going to take some fall damage here. Or in this case, close to max health. So what you want to do is you just want to kind of, like, don't sprint with the sprint button, but just run all the way up. Like, don't shimmy off like I tell you to sometimes. Just make sure you're kind of going at your normal running speed and just slide off the edge here. like so. Don't roll. Just do that. Then you see here, there's an item. Do the same thing here towards the item. You pick up the green Titanite shard and then do the same thing again. And you're going to land right here. If you fall all the way down, when you slip off that the first spot, if you slip all the way down here, you're going to fall to your death. So, go through this hole. Watch the cutscene.
Be gone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
All right, so behind you is going to be another bonfire. I'm not going to kindle this one. This one technically is closer to the boss, but it is not warpable, so I tend to kindle the other one that is warpable. Here we have another blacksmith.
Then produce me.
So this guy can do a fire weapon or a chaos weapon. So that's his kind of power as a blacksmith. He also sells homeward bones, titanite shards and arrows and whatnot. So yeah, fire weapons and chaos weapons. We're gonna need to we're gonna need to level those up with him to get the fire weapon trophy and chaos weapon trophy.
Oh, what was that? Don't be coming.
So this spot right here is a little bit tricky. These are some of the most hated enemies in all of Dark Souls, the bone wheels. They cause obscene amounts of damage and are extremely annoying. So what they do is they roll up to you, and unless you're blocking with your shield, I mean, they are extremely lethal. And so I don't always kill these guys, but just for the sake of making sure that we don't get surprised on our way over to where we're going, I'm going to recommend killing them. There's going to be a few more. To see how they do this rolly attack, and they've got spikes on the like lining the wheel. These things will kill you in no time if you're not careful. You see that? I just took like a few hits from that, and you see the damage he did to me was pretty insane. Okay, so with these guys gone, what you want to do is you want to sprint and go through this hole, turn immediately to your left when you go through the hole in the wall. We're going to get our final necromancer. And if you didn't get a skull lantern drop already, this one should drop your skull lantern. Okay? We're going to need the skull lantern in a little bit. Oh, oh snap, he came down. Oh my gosh. The Black Knight came down. Oh man, I was not expecting that at all. Okay, not cool. Wow, okay. Oh no, there's a bone wheel. Are you serious? This is like worst case scenario we're talking about here. Okay, wow. I was going to show you how to get to the Black Knight, but dadgum. I was not expecting that. Got the bone wheel shield. Oh, God, I got it. Yeah, I can't be fighting a Black Knight with this guy. All right. Jeez, dude. Scared the crap out of me. Oh, I missed my freaking overhead attack. That was pretty abysmal. Okay, I need to stop being cute here and play for real. All right, I'm just gonna parry him, or completely screw up the parry. That's a good way of doing it too. There we go. Dude, he almost screwed me. Oh, I got the great axe and a chunk, so I guess it was worth it. Golly. I mean, I don't technically need to heal. I should. Dang it, it's gonna respawn the bone wheels though. But okay, yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. So here's the last necromancer. If you didn't get a skull lantern before, he should drop it. So what you can do now is go up this ladder. And if the Black Knight didn't completely ambush you like he did me just there, you can drop down one of these holes And if you drop down this hole, you normally would see him, you'd encounter him right here. Here's where he normally stands. So he saw me and then dropped down through here to encounter me on the first floor. Soul of Proud Knight and another scimitar. So, yeah. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and rest. Get my flasks back. Golly. That's just another bone wheel. I don't care. I don't want to pick it up. And I can level up, so... Take my endurance to 21. It doesn't matter how well you think you know this game, like it will always find a way to surprise you. And I'm not fighting these things again. Like the way around them is you just got to kind of watch your back. And then once you get through here, you're pretty much safe. Okay, so here's where we drop down to fight the Black Knight. Instead of dropping down, we're going to... And you'll notice, by the way, there's a hole on each side. They both take you to the same spot. To that Black Knight area. Or where, at least where the Black Knight normally is. Alright, pick up the soul. And in here, we have a Titanite demon. Hello. Oh, I meant to... Where's my flame? Whoop. Oh, that last one missed. Dang it. You see, he has such insane reach. Almost got him though. And dead. And more a demon Titanite. Did not get the catch pole. Make sure you pick up these Eyes of Death. We need 10 of these for a covenant, but you can get 9 of them for playthrough. So these are our first 3. Also, the basilisks in the depths can drop them. It's a rare drop, but they can drop them. So what we want to do now is nestle in the coffin. And so this is going to take us to an area where we can join a covenant. The item that we use to level up the covenant are the Eyes of Death. And as I said, we're going to need 10 of them. But do not level up these covenants until you have all of the items that you need to level it up. Because if you break the covenant, then you lose your progress with the items that you've used to level up. So you kind of waste them. So for leveling up covenant purposes, it's either all or nothing. You either give them all to the covenant leader at once or not at all. Don't give them to the covenant leaders incrementally because you'll lose your progress. So we're at the Tomb of the Giants, and we can go over here and join the Gravelord Covenant. Join the Covenant. We get Gravelord Sword Dance, which is a pyromancy, I think, maybe, that we need for that trophy. And you can offer Eyes of Death, but we're going to do that later, so just back away. Might be a sorcery. I forget which one it is. Gravelord Sword Dance. It's actually a miracle, though. But of course, Titanite demons do not respawn. Okay, so now we're gonna head out of this room. And this is where you would fall through if you fell through that spot that I told you not to fall through by the Great Scythe. So what we need to do now is, you can see there are items down there. So, as well as a summon sign for the boss. So what you want to do is shimmy off the edge here. Heal up. And this down here, down there, that's the bone wheel room, so. Large soul of a nameless soldier. And I forget who this is. Who is it? Leroy, Paladin Leroy. Not going to summon for this boss. As I said, we're going from literally what is the hardest boss in Dark Souls to what is the widely viewed as the easiest boss. And here we got the preset and the mace. I'm not going to refight these bone wheels. I'm just going to run for my life. And as you run from these, watch your six. In case one of them follows you. This one I'm going to go ahead and kill. But there's like 6 or 7 of them. So in here is the boss fight. This is good old Pinwheel. So once you drop down here, you're going to take a little bit of fall damage, but he'll spawn. And then just really, literally run up to him and hit him a few times and he'll die. I think they intended for you to fight him earlier in the game than most people do. But since you don't get the Lord Vessel to warp out, like if you didn't have the Lord Vessel, you'd have to walk manually all the way back up the Catacombs to get back out of here. And so most people fight him relatively late in the game, but I think he's designed to be more of an early game type boss. So he's kind of like the biggest joke of this game as a result. And he does have a move where he spawns copies, and he doesn't always do that to start, but sometimes he does. All right, and that, my friends, is Pinwheel. So, congratulations, you beat Pinwheel. So as a result, we get the Rite of Kindling. By the Rite of Kindling, you may now kindle bonfires beyond the normal limit. So this allows you to kindle bonfires instead of just once. You can kindle them up to 3 times to get a total of 20 Estus flasks at a bonfire. So we'll take additional humanity, of course, but you can kindle bonfires up to 20 now, which is pretty sweet. And you get the mask here. So there's Mask of the Mother, Mask of the Child, and I guess, is it Mask of the Father? I forget. Mask of the Child tends to be the most coveted one because it's headgear. You put it on your face, and each one has a bonus stat. So the Mask of the Child is generally the favorite because it boosts your stamina, and it's at basically no cost because you just put it on your face. So what we want to do here is we want to equip our skull lantern. I'm actually going to put it on in place of my talisman. And if you killed all 5 necromancers, you should have a skull lantern. As I mentioned, each necromancer has a random chance of dropping it. But if you haven't gotten it randomly, by the time you kill the 5th one should be a guaranteed drop. So you see, if you have the skull lantern equipped, what you have to do is you have to hold, in this case, I have it in my left hand, so I'm holding L1, and that puts it up, and that lights up this place, because this place is extremely dark. So what we're doing now is we're just swooping around to get an item that was previously inaccessible before we fought Pinwheel. Solar Proud Knight. So if we drop down here, this is literally the path that leads, that way leads back to the Bone Wheel room, and then that way leads back to the fog wall where we went through to fight Pinwheel. And so guys, that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. We're going to cover a little bit, just a teeny weeny bit of this next area in the next episode. And then we're going to do lots of other stuff, kill a couple bosses, have a lot of fun. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you didn't die to Pinwheel. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for your support. It means everything. And y'all are the best. So take care, everybody. And have a good one.